Okay, let's finally do this. Meanwhile, I'm gonna sit here being nervous the entire stream. This is gonna fail on me again.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Hello. We're all back.
We took a 8-episode retreat. The entire Hayseed Knight cast went to Texas. They sang songs with Pee Wee Herman, and now they're all back.
What?
This is canon.
Now they're gonna pounce on
Actually
you.
happened. I personally saw Adder strumming a ukulele.
What?
With which hands? With which hands? So good.
I don't kiss and tell.
Well, you could have done him spraying with his teeth of his handlers or something.
Just tell her. Go ahead.
Tell the Roo Croo about your signature floor salmon.
Yeah. So I was playing Cooking Simulator,
Uh-huh.
and
Go on.
the controls are a little awkward for me.
It's one of those goat simulators type of deals.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Quite, but it's very much a simulator, like janky Unity, throw a bunch of assets together and call it simulator kind of
Yeah.
games.
like I'm used to gestures like, say, picking up a tool in these kinds of games and then flipping something to be fairly intuitive. Like you just push E and then, move the mouse or something in a certain way. But no, it's this weird, like, you do one thing to pick it up and then another thing to turn it, like slowly rotate whatever you're holding on different axes, and it's just really difficult to, like, get any, like simple things like flipping a piece of salmon fillet is suddenly extremely complicated. So I ended up,
that sounds like quitter talk to me.
yeah, thank you. So I ended up seasoning my my salmon fillet with a little bit of floor traffic, fillet of salt. Anyway,
Somebody in the chat delete the bot.
oh shit. Hold on, yeah,
Floor
that
salmon.
to it.
That's a haute cuisine French thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that fowl that you have to eat under a napkin. It's just this is salmon you have to eat on the floor.
Them's the rules. You don't say.
Hapapa. Hapapa takata.
Anyway, welcome back to Hayseed Knight.
Anytime I get home after a con, I feel sick. It's not con crud. It's just my body immediately decompressing. It's like, oh, I can let go of all the stuff I've been holding in.
Yeah, I get that too. It's like you feel like your immune system's a little bit ratcheted up even when you're not sick.
Yeah,
I know, Rachel. I had a load of fun playing with Jonas and playing his cookie to me. I get it too.
Oh, that's right. You went on your last day.
Yeah, last day. The dire of the
Everything comes
situation.
down to this.
Yes. The dire of the situation became outside the temple. The higher tensions rose inside. Something strange happens to people when they're packed together in one place for too long. All the little annoyances that are part of dealing with others are suddenly multiplied tenfold. Every request becomes an order, every stumble a personal attack. There's no reason why a simple game of ball between children had to come to blows between their parents, but Adder still had to translate the lecture that followed. He felt angry for Zhao. This seemed like a waste of her precious time. More reading. Day by day, letters started looking less like a puzzle to be solved, more like a familiar shape. Sounds did not come naturally to Adder's mind for all of them, but a few jumped immediately out of his mouth. He felt very proud of these. Alas, just as individual words were starting to come together, Adder found out about sentences. Adder was not prepared for sentences.
Are any of us?
Another uneventful night patrolling. Except for this
All
event.
right, that's it for our task today. We got the bells, everyone's been asked to double security, and they all told me to tell you that you deserve a break. What's the plan then?
I'm not sure. I never really thought much of heirloom beyond the Temple of Hirub. I wouldn't want to go too far, so what's there to see in the area?
Hang
Well,
on, Ashley,
there's
what's this
a whole
about
bunch of temples
a
here in
print of
Pilgrim Hill if
Luna
you'd
you
like to see
had
more of
for me?
those. Or we could check out the Great Garden. It's a real green spot just south of the market. Eelgrab kept selling me on it, but I never had the time to go.
Also, I'm surprised you never ran into me. I'm easy to spot in a crowd.
Also, if you couldn't find him, you could have always dropped it off at my table. I would have given it to him.
Ah, hindsight. I see more butts that way. Yes, Miller.
Nothing.
What, you
You
didn't
don't
have
bother-
enough of this weekend?
You didn't want to bother me with it. I do hang out at cons to see my friends. I would very gladly hold something for one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all go to cons to see people. As busy as Rick might be, I think he has time for a hello.
Yes.
Speak for
And a how do you
yourself.
do?
I go to cons to be reclusive and hard to find.
You can
I
do that
mean,
anywhere,
you've been pretty
Jonas.
successful at that.
I do.
Yeah, I couldn't find you anywhere at TFF.
Oh, all right, let's.
I'm not sure it'd be wise to walk into any public spaces.
Oh, yeah. Guess that kind of puts a damper on the trip now, huh? Hey, I think I know a good spot. How would you like to see one of Sep's favorite places in Heirloom instead?
Zhao's eyes lit up immediately. Adder didn't need any further confirmation to start walking.
No,
Ta-da! Welcome to whatever this beach is called.
Oh, he's taking her to here now.
It's just so you know, the smell is perfectly normal and the water is perfectly clean. Very deep, though. We shouldn't go in. Yep.
The lack of response made Adder turn, half thinking that Zhao would have fainted from excitement at the prospect of walking into a holy place or something. Instead, Zhao's expression could be best described as pure apprehension.
Sorry, I am. You didn't mention we were going to the sea.
That's right. I'm sorry. But I didn't take you here to go for a swim or anything like that. I just wanted to brag about the view of the palace. We can go anywhere else. That's all right.
Zhao took a tentative step forward towards the edge of the sand.
No, I have been avoiding the sea for so long, but it's something I need to face. My past will keep haunting me otherwise. This is a sign from Baitatsu that you are the person to share it with.
gasp.
Even when she finally managed to sit down, Zhao couldn't help the way her knees bunched up against her chest, or the shiver running down her spine when a light breeze blew in their direction.
The last time I ever dared to step close to Alar, it must have been a couple of years ago, when I still served the gods.
Adder sat down next to her. He nodded at her to continue.
It was the eve of some small festival or another, so the day had been exhausting, and the night was restless in preparation. The girl I liked had smiled at me too. What a busy night it was. I thought I'd take a walk on the beach to calm my mind. I was going about my way, watching the stars shine above me, when I heard someone speak Basected. A version that sounded nothing like my own. I got closer, in case a foreign merchant had found themselves stuck in the ice and needed help. That's when I saw them. Strange silhouettes hiding in the ice, washing out on the beach. And I knew them to be ships, even though I had never seen anything like them before. Just like I knew the people speaking to be creatures of the West.
You're saying you saw B?
Zhao immediately threw her hands over Adder's mouth.
Do not say that word! I'm sorry. I've always known words to travel farther than we meant to. Don't insult them. I do not want to draw their attention.
Adder nodded seriously.
I ran back to my cot, and I hid. The sleepless night turned into day. The tasks continued just as they were before. Nobody ever knew what I had seen. nor why I wouldn't accompany them again on their walks out of the temple.
Zhao tried to blink away the tears forming in the corner of her eyes.
That's funny. It occurs to me now that perhaps the seeress was showing me kindness by exiling me. She saw that I had grown fearful of the world outside and decided to send me away so that I may face it properly and rethink my life.
Zhao sniffed hard, but there was no helping the wetness running down her face.
Shh, don't cry. It's all right.
Yes, it really is all right, isn't it? I do not know if I truly saw the creatures that night or not, and I do not know if I deserved the punishment I received, or even if it was a punishment at all. But I am me, and I can be all right. I will be all right, no matter what!
She turned to Adder, smiling behind the tears.
You'll help me make it all right, yes?
I'll be there with you as long as you'll have me, ma'am.
Zhao giggled a little, happy to hear this promise. Adder's heart only grew heavier with secrets.
I beg you, just a few more days. That's all I need. I can make them understand.
At dawn, this ends.
Ilgrab gaped helplessly.
As you wish, my king.
Ilgrab, what are you doing?
Adder opened his eye in the middle of the night, hours before daybreak. The voices in his dream had quieted down at last, though far too late to get any rest. He propped himself up against the coal heap and looked around. His mouth felt dry and his head light. Pins and needles ran through his skin. There was something off about this darkness. It had a different texture than the nights before. Where were the crickets? They had all fallen to the cold as the clouds started their march back into the city. Somewhere in the great garden of Ahimai, locked away from the rest of the world, a sacred tree had just changed to its yellow dress. Bleak night was just about to start, and the change in seasons never failed to awaken old, unwanted memories. Tales of an unlucky farmer whose life was ruined beyond repair.
Adder.
2 years of unending nightmares in a city that didn't know his name.
Nope, I'm going back to sleep.
No, you're not. On your feet, soldier. Grab your helmet and meet me behind the library. We need to get moving.
What? Wow. What? No, we're not. Moving where? What's going on?
Ilgrab fidgeted for a moment.
The king has agreed to a parley on the matter of the Barhand Revolution. We won't have another chance like this.
For real? Give me a moment. I'm gonna wake you.
No. The spotlight is on you this time, boy.
Say what? No. That don't sound like you, Ilgrab. You're always saying I don't gotta speak over people. You want me to just speak for him now? I'm a deer, in case you hadn't noticed.
And so I have to bring you. The king will not meet with anyone but one of yours. Not without a sword to their necks.
Right, so bring someone else who won't end up getting his head cut all the same.
You think I wouldn't have done that if I could? There's no one else, Addison! Would you rather I bring Burbith instead? Or would you have me bring Zhao to the court?
It was perfectly easy to picture Zhao walking up to the king, a well of good intentions, about to be bled dry.
Lad, come on. I beg you. It's a very knightly situation, isn't it? Your one chance to spring forward and do what's right for the people you love. Isn't that what you wanted all along?
You really think me being there is gonna change anything?
It could change the world right now.
No pressure.
Yes.
What the? Okay.
I mean, refusing would probably be a bad idea.
It sounds like a trap, but okay.
Okay, yeah, well...
Give me a moment to get dressed, and I'll be right there with you.
Bless you, Adder. I knew I could count on you.
For thousands of years, since deer built temples with mud and straw and knew nothing of the secrets of iron, the great Alcathar of Heirloom had presided over the city in some form, looking over it from its own island just yards away from the coast. Adder had seen the palace loom over the mist of dawn before, and made it seem like it was floating, and now he floated too. Adder had never expected...
float too. I was gonna say, yeah.
Adder had never expected to walk the royal pathway willingly and freely, to be afforded entrance with a mere, "He's with me," or "Let Sir Upperfield through." The city that seemed so endless when he first set foot on the gate of Ides now seemed so simple under his feet. The sea roaring below the bridge, the palace standing proudly in front of him, the fires flaring up in the towers above. Adder would never forget this sight. It would never grow old. But then again, seeing the route they were taking, neither would he.
I need you on your best behavior now. You're about to meet the king. Kneel when I kneel. Whatever I say, don't look at me. And for the love of Baitatse and all the gods, don't say a single word out of turn.
Adder grasped the hem of his coat as a door after door was pushed open before him. Marble halls, colonnades of splendor, intricate carvings on every single wall, deeper and deeper through the marbles until at last they arrived at their destination. Green and yellow and red, and every color of flower and fruit Adder could name, roaming freely around a vibrant garden, perpetually kept in dawn-soon inside. They were led ahead by rivers at the sides of the room, joining together in the center as circular ponds surrounding the raised platform that crowned the room. 4 columns holding up the most important curtain in the entire world. And within it, a silhouette.
My king.
You perturb us yet again, Sith of Puntalos. There had better be a good reason.
Yes, my king. I have brought a guest you may want to speak to.
Want? Oh, we don't recall requesting anything of the sort. Do you presume to understand our own desires better than ourselves?
No, my king. I am merely working according to my position. I am your humble peacemaker, and it is to further this peace that I bring another voice to you.
So what you seek is to influence our decision, now that we made our intentions clear to you. How very arrogant of you, Illigrab. You bring nothing but shame upon your father's work.
Adder was sure that he'd heard a deep sniff from the other side of the curtain.
Ah, Hadir. You know well that the oath to our patron compels us. Your mansuetude betrays a cunning mind. And yet, is this truly a deer? Yes, you must be. But your scent... You've meddled so brazenly with gods and curses and... him. Why does he smell like Omagepseb? We saw the gods fall upon him. No, that's not all. How can it be? No. We ripped his core with our own fangs, and we drank all the blood from his body. He cannot be in this world.
Actually, I think the audio...
This deer, Illigrab. Why does he smell of immortals?
Actually, I think there was a conspicuous audio glitch.
My king. But Addison is a good friend of Pertok and his daughter.
Oh, yes. Our dear Tespertok. We sense his misery upon you. That could explain it well.
The king huffed as if trying to get the smell out of his nose.
We are the company we keep indeed. But an interesting creature you have brought to us, and he hasn't even opened his mouth yet.
High King is... How do you pronounce that? Isifix.
I guess it would be like Isifik? I'm not sure.
Isifik.
Yeah.
Isifik.
Yeah.
High King Isifik. Isifik silhouette shifted slightly behind the curtain.
Law is our word, and our word is law. As we have spoken, it shall be done. But we remain curious. Let this strange deer come closer. We shall hear his words before we have both your heads cut for such insolence.
Adder made to turn his head towards Illigrab before immediately realizing that was forbidden. He heard Elgrab's leave south as the tree man nodded. The young deer walked, one foot after another, towards the king. Though any peasant would have been overwhelmed, walking towards someone with this much power, this was an entirely different matter. Isafik wasn't just a king. He was savior to all of Cain, a religious figure on his own, the beast who betrayed his kind to protect the ruminants. He who was crowned by Bahaitat himself, a man above time.
What is it you seek, child?
Your Majesty, I want what everyone could ever want, right? I want to live a good life. And I want everyone else to live a good life too. Please, leave my friends alone.
We are the world. We brought you wisdom when you crawled through the mire with no weapon but the antlers on your head. We freed you from those that could hurt you. We were brought upon this world to be your shepherd.
The shepherd of who?
What?
No, who?
You said you're our shepherd. Who's that mean?
Adder?
Whoa.
What are you doing?
Why'd you bring me here then?
We are the shepherd of all the earth. We shall guard you from all evil.
So what about the rest? What about the Barhans? Or the Makadar? They're not your herd?
Of course not. They intruded upon our lands. They are the scum of Vecna, and we have tolerated them within our kingdom long enough.
That's radish stew.
Excuse you?
Is that how it's gonna go? They're new, so they don't count? That's radish stew. They didn't ask to be brought here. Not even the deer were supposed to be here. The beasts were sent after us because Baitot made us an Imai's garden. You forgotten?
You insolent child! We were there!
Then what? You think life is a game of chairs? My ancestors kicked your ancestors' asses so we get to be here? What gives you or anyone the right to say who gets to live their lives?
How dare you!
Why do you get to say our kingdom and they don't? Aren't you a beast?
No, he's not.
What?
You know, I'm not happy we had to practice on Aina, but it really gave us an edge after all.
Why? How do you know?
I should have bitten off your throat the second you dared to get my sister's name wrong.
Epilogue, what is happening? Who is this?
That's okay. You don't need to know.
Entire crew would be sick on Isafik, like fangs raining from the ceiling, from within the ponds and between the plants.
Just know that this is for Aina, you fossilized dung ball!
Begone! We cast you away! We are immortal!
My king! No!
King's head rolled down the stairs to the platform like a heavy rock, leaving a trail of old blood behind. Ekka's teeth turned to Adder next. There didn't seem to be a hint of sanity within her eyes. Ekka leapt towards Adder, running on four legs and dripping blood all over her lips. Ilgrab slammed her against her with his full body, barely managing to keep her fangs an inch away from his face.
I'll hold them off! Run!
That escalated.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Adder tried to run, but the guard soon stopped him.
Help! Help! The beasts! The beasts have arrived! They...
Adder reached out for the soldier in front of him, desperate for anyone to listen. It was Elbar that turned around.
One-eyed scoundrel!
Elbar slammed his helmet against the ground.
You dare infiltrate the palace! Such boldness will not go unpunished!
There's no time for that! The king! The king is...
Alarm bells sounded all over the castle. Adder could only stare in disbelief as a contingent of guards surrounded him.
That's him! It's the roof from the temple! He killed the king!
What?
Of course.
No! You've got the wrong guy! Ask Illigrab, please! Illigrab!
No, I won't make the same mistake twice, villain!
Bad ending.
Adder's life would end under Elbar's blade.
Hey, I know this isn't my story, but are you sure this is how it really went? I mean, Adder kind of died just now.
It must be right. It's the only logical place where those choices could have led him. Sorry, Lynn. I wasn't around for this part, so I'm just guessing as much as you are. The memories you see are nothing but the result of years of imagining what may have happened in my absence. I can't offer any certainty here.
That's alright. I'm sure that Adder's decision could have led down an interesting path in another life. We need to think of a different way to make the story play out in a way that he'll survive, though.
Yes, let me think again.
So you want turn us into a fanfic then, you're saying?
Unreliable narrator.
You know I'd just make things worse somehow. We'll figure out a way to send Zhao safe. I'll stay here and protect Sip. This ain't... I'm not smart enough to...
So that's how it's going to be. I can't force you to come, but I really thought that... Never mind. I can't waste time trying to change your mind now. I just hope you can live with the consequences.
Ilgrab turned and left, bitter and crestfallen. Adder turned around wordlessly. He let his feet guide him forward towards the bedrooms. He didn't even remember to knock before opening the door that led to Zhao's cot. It was empty. Surely there was no one there. This brought tears to his eye for some reason. He was alone, and soon everyone would be alone, because he'd made life miserable for everyone. He'd broken everything again. He'd get everyone killed.
Ada! What are you doing here? Are you okay? Did you have another nightmare?
The sobs bubbling in his chest turned to wailing upon seeing Zhao again. It didn't make any sense. Nothing made any sense anymore.
I messed up.
Zhao watched him cry in silence, well aware of how inconsolable Adder was when his emotions finally broke out.
I heard crying. Is everyone all right? I brought painkillers and bandages.
The absurdity of it all did something to Adder's mind. Pressure cracking on his skull fell on the sobs until they turned into half-made chuckles. He wasn't alone. That much was obvious, but the words he wanted to say just weren't coming out. They felt stuck in the bottom of his throat, somewhere below the last wisp of pain beyond the wound on his neck.
What is it, friend?
It's time to run.
Zhao and Barabeth exchanged a surprised look. It turned to determination.
Everyone, get ready to depart immediately! The king's army is coming, and we don't have much time left. Grab only the essentials and prepare to follow me to the back entrance. Mo, Itor, prepare a caravan with our resources.
Priestess, get a hold of yourself! Is that truly what you want us to do? Run? After all the blood and sweat we've poured into the temple, won't you stand and fight? Retreat and they'll give chase. Retreat and our spirit dies with our home.
Look, man, I love me a good cup of spirits as much as the next guy, but if the priestess says we run or we die, we run, huh? You can stay here and fight with your merry band of friends all you want. The rest of us are out.
Riders, block the exits!
The band immediately jumped on their trees of burden and started running laps around the horrified congregation.
You knew as well as I did what your position was. This is where my patience for you ends. I have tolerated your weakness long enough.
What good will respect be when we're all dead, Itor?
For every one of us that dies, we will kill 20 of them. If they can't learn to respect us, they will learn to fear us. You will see I'm right in time.
We're down to our last options, Zhao. I know you don't want to hear it, but...
No. If blasphemy is what it takes to save everyone today, then this is the day I burn my robes. Go. We don't have time to lose.
From his vantage point over the roof, Adder could do nothing but listen to the battle drums inch nearer. The evacuation should have been complete hours before, but the patio remained full of tents. He closed his eye for a moment, suddenly overcome by an intense feeling of exhaustion. His mind was transported back to a watchtower and the sound of heavy steps approaching, the sound of his life ending. When he opened his eye again, he found his gaze immediately drawn to a finely adorned, semi-transparent canopy built over an ancient willow tree, climbing stealthily over the side of the building opposite to the patio. The curtain of his dreams finally returned from the depths of Adder's mind, now standing so close and yet so far in front of him. Isifik. The aura he gave off, the way something in the Hatsa curled and trembled around him reminded Adder so much of Pertok. But Pertok was a child compared to Isifik, was he not? Just 400 years to... Only the gods in Isifik knew how ancient the creature in front of him was. A true god by any other name.
It's so annoying how he can just walk out there with the deer, right? I bet he knows we're here. He just wanted to brag.
Boss?
Nope, not your boss anymore. We failed. It's all in your hands now.
What do you mean it's it?
Echo leaned in for an unexpected hug, finally snapping Adder out of his shock through pure confusion. It was only upon feeling the weight on his arms that Adder saw the pale, motionless body he'd been entrusted.
Find a way to bring her back. The rest will sort itself out.
That's actually a bug that she should be like blank.
The stairs to the ceiling echoed with the arrival of a weary goat, tentatively making her way up.
It's time.
Adder didn't need to ask. He merely nodded. Certain doom waited at the other side of crumbling walls, but you would not have known this seeing Bearbeth's excited fidgeting over the metallic skeleton Adder had helped him carry in. After a short pause to recover his breath, Bearbeth removed with a flourish the curtain covering the metallic creature.
Please allow me to introduce to you the first truly automatic automaton in history, the living golem. Where automata have traditionally been nothing more than a puppet fulfilling the wishes of their master, this shall be the first one capable of giving orders to itself.
What can go wrong?
Bearbeth pressed a button somewhere under the golem's ribcage area. An empty compartment opened on its chest.
A normal core would contain just enough traces of sunlight to keep a connection with an external source of energy. But my invention should be capable of supplying enough energy to itself to allow the Jasif to conduct herself as she needs to.
Another click, and Bearbeth produced a small potato-shaped glass container out of the automaton.
You sure this'll work, Bearbeth? How could I be? What is certainty, if not an excess of presumptions? I can only do my best to lower the risks, but the circumstances are never going to be... Yes, I've ensured the transplant will work to the best of my skill.
And if it don't?
I don't think we'll have much time to lament the failure.
It's our only choice right now. Let's just hope for the best.
Bearbeth scooped up the fire into the container with a small hand spade, making sure that not a single ash remained outside.
All that's left is inserting the new core. Adder, would you care to do the honors?
Adder looked at the caged ember within his hands. He felt a deep sorrow he could not even begin to explain looking at them.
I wish I could have done more for you, Sip. I'm sorry.
The golem's chest compartment closed on its own. Mechanical whirring and small twitches, like a heart starting to beat, something propelled the golem into motion. The golem threw its hands forward in one quick motion. Adder tried to move away, horrified, but it simply held tenderly onto his arm.
Adder? Is that you?
Sip! Oh, thank all the gods.
Adder, where are you? I can't see you. I can't hear you. Adder!
Sip! Sip, my love! I'm here! Bearbeth! What's going on?
I must have miscalculated something.
My son, please calm down. We're under attack right now. We need to... What is happening to me?
In an instant, the golem's energy shifted. It barely felt like Sepp anymore. A blood-curdling scream somewhere on the patio. The image of Sepp blinked, and suddenly the improvised window blinds were flying through the forge. Everything around Sepp seemed to get sharper. The air itself became heavy to the point it was near unbreathable, the feeling of alcohol about to combust.
Sip! What are you?
With the last trace of lucidity left in her, Sepp turned one claw towards Aina. A fire went right through her chest, her arm, and bursted out of both of their eyes.
Em, away from here! Now!
With that, Sepp's golem exploded into a massive shrapnel. Everyone leapt away from the explosion, but it didn't reach a single person in the forge. The remaining pieces of porcelain twisted and turned around a fireball of sorts. Sepp's soul flared in and out of existence, superimposed by the impression of a creature far larger than her. Adder had only seen such a being once before in the sea. It was something he could not start to name, but he knew deep down, from the bottom of his heart, danger. The star ahead of them moved its head up, aware of the effect it was causing.
I can't make amends anymore, but I can atone at least.
Reality seeped in and out of their world, leaving only after images in Adder's mind. He found himself unable to reply. Without another word, Sepp's form shifted into a comet ascending towards the roof. Outside, across the yard and beyond the gates, perched on the ledge of an abandoned warehouse like a beast stalking its prey, an immortal monarch spoke with a voice deeper than a bottomless well.
Surrender. We may be merciful yet.
Mercy. Puh. Hirab, save me from your mercy, Isifik. I will sooner take everyone's lives myself than let them live under your grace.
Foolish child, you think yourself bold for raising your blade against us when iron was our own gift. You rebel against your father, thinking yourself wise in your short age. Such race and ignorance you hold! You are as ants gazing upon a mountain. You can't even start to comprehend your position.
And what is a mountain to an ant? We will tear you apart, pebble by pebble. We will break you until there is nothing left of you but dust. Riders, today we kill a god.
Confident. Sep could hear it somewhere deep in her soul. The prayers. Cornered on the patio, huddled among the clamoring and the screams, prayers driven by fear, they called for their Jasif. Then they all drew silent when they came face to face with her image, newly forged upon the fires of sun itself, all flame and porcelain.
Is this everything you wanted?
The Jasif rose over the temple and roared. It was a deafening sound, one Adder could have never imagined she was capable of making.
I am Jasif, and today the Voxanot rises again.
The Jasif morphed again into a creature the likes of which the world had never seen before. All Adder could think as he saw the woman changing shapes in front of him, all flames and fangs and fear, was hunger. The guards ran immediately, leaving the king to the creature descending upon him. Deep inside the temple, in the tower watching over the scene, a wretched old man shook his head.
Foolish child.
The ground started rumbling. The pits that were his eyes filled with magma.
Oh, shit.
The Jasif roared as she lunged from roof to roof, shouting the arrival of a new era so that it would be heard far and wide. Her followers paraded the head of the old king, celebrating the death of an immortal monarch. Dark gray hurricane clouds formed over the city, and under them, the Jasif shone like a sun descended to Dakna. Lightning and thunder followed, and the people cheered along, thinking themselves safe. Another of the Jasif's powers, surely. But the multitude grew silent when the clouds opened again. Every word died at the sight of a metallic hoof slowly falling from the sky, the very soul of which was the size of heirloom. Screams followed after.
That's a big hand.
Pertok felt around the floor, trying to find his fallen cane.
I upheld my end of the bargain.
What have I done?
This feels like
the end of the world.
Anna pointed at Sap, and then at the hoof in the sky.
Aina? What is that?
Even if Aina had words, she wouldn't have been able to describe the sight ahead. No, her time had come. She only knew as much. When she started to run away, jumping from building to building, Adder made to follow right after. A tiny hand pulled him back.
Ada, there's no time for that. We have to find a way out.
I can't leave him alone.
This is bigger than us. We have to keep the people safe.
Adder looked around at the stampede of people through the street. He still tried to run.
Listen to your friend, you dimwit! We have to find a way out!
Adder felt another hand jerking him back. A newcomer trying to stop him all the same.
Geoff, what did you... no, I don't care. We can't leave. You're sisters.
Whatever that is no sister of mine. Move, move, move!
The Jasif leapt high into the skies, her light shining like a beacon across the steppes. A small sun rising from the ground headed for the fallen god.
It's time to put an end to this.
A nondescript shadow followed suit, ready to hammer down the final nail on an entire era. Pertok pointed the cane at himself.
I will right my wrongs this time, daughter of Thar.
A huge explosion in the sky interrupted. The fire that threatened to rain over the city started regressing back into place until the column of light flickered out of existence. The entire course of the Hatsa had been shifted, and the shockwave could be felt all the way to Chansur.
You finished your preparations?
Yeah, this should last us half a moon, I reckon. I can figure out the rest on the way to Ocean.
The western limits? At this time of the year?
At this time of
The
day.
world in the palm of your hand, and yet you want us to freeze!
You are sure of that you don't want to stay? We welcome you travel as long how you want with us.
I really appreciate it, but you know, it's just one of those things I've been wondering for a while. Like, what are we even doing here anymore? You know?
I know what I'm doing here.
I don't.
You could always use my ransom letter. At a discount, of course. Merely a trifle compared to the price you could fetch for his head.
No. He have a better lastly. Always is good to have a doctor with us.
I hope y'all find whatever it was y'all were looking for.
The Joseph.
Right, the Yusif.
The deer and the goat fell silent all of a sudden. Adder took a hand to his chest and jowed to her face.
Anyway, I should go get changed before I leave. Ain't no telling who's gonna recognize this crook on the road.
Adder walked into the darkness of his tent, feeling around for his helmet. His hand landed on the tip of a very long snout instead.
Hey, pup.
Captain! You ought to think twice about giving Ruminants that kind of scare. We got delicate hearts, you know. To what do I owe the honor?
I thought we should share a last toast before you leave. To us.
Eka stretched out her hand, revealing a metallic tankard filled to the brim with the usual foamy stuff. While Adder stuck his snout into the metal cup daringly, set on finding out what the heck was inside, Eka leaned closer to his face.
We've accomplished our mission at last. And we could not have done it without you.
Does this mean y'all are done with that whole invasion thing?
Oh, yeah. There's no point wandering about now that Isafik's gone. Those supply lines won't keep themselves filled after all. Not if we want to keep our side of the deal.
Great! I mean, oh man. So it's goodbye then. Dang. I've had a wonderful time with the pack, but all things gotta come to an end, right?
Do they? I was hoping you'd be available for a more stable position.
Eka dragged a soft claw over Adder's helmet.
A little clam told me about that whole night business of yours. I have to admit that the pieces started coming together really fast after that, you know. You don't just want power. You want to commit that power to someone. I respect that. I can't make you a knight exactly, but I can always make space for you in my crew, Lieutenant Bones. Don't tell Whelp I promoted you first.
Thank you, Captain.
Don't get so sweet with me now, or I'll have to gobble you up.
Eka flicked her tongue against Adder's snout.
Catch you when I catch you, Bones. Take care of my
That's
sister
so
until
horny.
then.
Just then, a short green-haired creature plodded towards him, interrupting the moment of whatever that was.
Your sister just, oh, never mind. You sure you don't want any help carrying all that stuff, boss?
Ada gave him a thumbs up, though it was clear she was struggling to lift her assortment of weapons.
I don't know. I feel a bit left out here. Like, I know I'm still recovering, but I'm not carrying anything at all, you know?
Anna opened her arms wide and then pointed at herself.
What? You want me to carry you? Come on, boss. You're acting just like...
Anna tilted her head, confused. That thought never quite finished forming in Adder's brain.
Anyway, we'll have plenty of time to hold each other tonight.
Anna's face turned beet red. Adder diverted his gaze, too. They absolutely needed a minute to cast their mutual embarrassment away before walking out.
Well, we'll be off then.
Jal and Adder shared one last hug.
This isn't goodbye, Ada.
No way. You couldn't get rid of me if you tried. Don't be a stranger, yeah? I'm always a shout away if you need anything. Except translating.
I thought that's what we kept the other deer for.
Don't mess with the poor guy. I'm sure it's not his fault he's apparently forgotten every single Basaktet word he knew!
Indeed. One must give credit where credit is due. Adder made an incredibly convincing translator. One of the best tricks I've seen you pull.
Hey, I wasn't lying about it, all right? I swear it's like I could hear the words when I looked into her eyes. And then I'd say the things she was saying, but louder.
Well, look into my eyes and tell me why we can't go to Corbuswy instead.
Because I don't want to be anywhere near the coast with all those beasts on the loose, you hoofhead.
Your hoofhead?
Okay, fine. Your sister can come visit the shop and we're all done setting up. but so help me if she licks my neck again, you hear?
I will come!
I miss the heirloom already.
So we reach the end.
Oh, but this is not where the story ends. The Knight's banishment is literally where the Song of the Upper Field begins.
Stop changing the fic.
This is the story of how he became Adderson of the Upper Field. You didn't have that.
You spent all that time on a prologue?
Lynn slams her face against the table.
I can't believe you do this to me.
Yes, you can. Come now, it's time to send you back home. Lynn hides her face between her arms. I have to strain my ears to hear the next part.
I need a home to return to first.
I figured. Her indistinct, angry mumbling sounds like a little like the start of a sob.
Stay with me until I fall asleep.
Yeah. The moon sails low among the stars. I still have a little while left. It's been a lifetime since I last helped put a child to sleep.
How many of those have you spent wandering around all on your own?
I don't know. I told you, I don't do time. I don't want to remember all these numinous minute confinements of erosion you fleshbags insist on keeping track of.
That's really ironic, you know.
I could take the easy route and pretend I'm just here because you asked me to share the story.
Of course. I am Omalin Devi of Askidath, all-powerful Sephi.
There you go. Can't believe you made me do this.
Yes, you can.
Short pause. Lynn slouches down on the table, but her eyes are still fixed on me.
Hey, will you do something for me?
What is it, little one?
Will you keep the...
Kid, go away. You ever hear about personal space, kid? Scram. I will throw you off this bridge if you don't move this instant.
Keep it up, Lynn.
Don't think I can't tell what you're trying to do, you little fusty lugs. Get out of my face already!
Shave my horns and call them tinder! I knew it! I knew it! You were telling the truth! How's that even possible? You'd have to be, like, so old!
You really make me feel like it. Don't you have anything better to do today, kid? Parents too annoyed to death, perhaps?
Oh, don't you dare change the topic! You unreservedly, unquestionably, and unconditionally have to tell me the story if the one I know is so wrong!
Do I now? Damn. And why would that be, pray tell?
Lisha! To think you were acting so high and mighty just 1 moment ago! You call yourself an expert on the night, and yet you fail to see the answer to such obviousness? A joke is what you are!
I have a staff, and it'll hurt when I hit you with it.
It is fate itself that has brought you to me, O Wanderer! For
I like your name. That's a ludic kid.
Swear, a direct descendant of the Knight from the Tale!
Sure you are.
Wait, don't go! I'm not lying, see? Look at this beautiful blue fabric! 100% certified linen carefully passed down for generations! Part of his cape!
You're not Armstrong.
It's truly 100% certified. I don't care by.
Nuh-uh! Look, it's so old! Look!
No, it can't be.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get your filthy snout away from my family relics!
It still smells like him.
It does? Whoa! Just so we're clear, that's a wonderful
so
summer between a
deluded,
wool
kid.
one and a boat. That's really gross, and I'm thinking I should run. You know what kind of wool I'm talking about?
Why do you even sound like... No, I won't let the delusions of some random street shrub get to me ever again. I'm leaving.
I am not deluded, and I am not a street shrub. My name is Omalin Dibili of Askidath, and I am heir to the lineages of both the Knight of the Upper Field and the royalty of Basaxidat.
Be careful eyeing her names. I'm loving them.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a mouthful.
Oh,
Just
now they
Lynn is
stopped.
fine.
Lynn of Askidath.
Descendant of Adderson of Askidath. And you are?
I'm so very tired. Come on, we have a long day ahead of ourselves. Moments pass in silence, but perhaps it's hours instead. I would not be able to guess how long. My first instinct is to check if Lynn is truly asleep. Perhaps I could somehow create more time for myself. A different excuse to stay just another handful of minutes around her. As much as I tried to avoid it, I now know too much about this fragile creature sitting by my side. I'm invested in her well-being. Once again, I've been dragged back into mortal affairs. I'm sorry, Lynn. I don't have a choice. The moon starts its descent into the horizon. The sun will find me once more no matter what I want. No. I can't stay. I have a letter to deliver before that. With my hat and my staff in tow, I stop one last time in front of the entrance. I adjust my new blue scarf over my neck and nod. She's too good to be related to you. But still, please watch over my friend.
The night ends, whether we want it to or not, and the sun rises. This is the inescapable order of life. The light finds us, sometimes as a gentle caress, and sometimes blasting us right in the face. Curtains. What? Where am I? Show your faces, fiends! A lonely child in an unfamiliar crypt. Nothing remained of the night but a cramped hand, a carefully bound book, and a trail of sleepy slobber connecting said child to the table. Even her beloved scarf was gone. Ah, that's right! My book! So it was the goddess of inspiration that took me! Ah, magnum opus, masterwork of mine! I can't believe I've gone and kidnapped myself just to write you. The headmistress is going to kill me. Ah! The headmistress is going to kill me! Picture a young gazelle, running through the back alleys of Slander District, jumping through empty lots, run-down houses, and little stone benches, for she knew full well that she was to meet her destiny. Miss Mina is going to have me cleaning bodies all week! A destiny which most likely included a brush and a lot of brown. I don't want to spend a week dealing with And so, as is to be expected from someone not heeding the wise advice, look where you're going, the young gazelle soon met the first obstacle on the way back to the orphanage. A tree.
Miss Omalindibi?
Yes? The gate was blocked by a huge muckadeer. No, two, in fact. The smaller one was simply trying his darndest to blend in behind the older one.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Constable Adaga Buntalos of the Academy of Heirloom. This is my little brother and my secretary in training, Umbo. Hi.
The shy sapling nodded his head politely from behind his sister. Am I in trouble? I swear he's going to come back! Eventually, I just...
Oh, no, child. You are not in trouble. Quite the opposite, in fact, unless you're particularly averse to good news. This is highly irregular, but a certain person of standing who decided to remain anonymous for your sake and mine vouched ardently for your ingenious character and good nature. And I must say, I have been able to witness your creativity myself.
The young child nearly ran for it when Adarga pointed her head towards a series of graffiti, boldly decorating the wall that led to the orphanage. That wasn't me.
Really? Then I guess perhaps we ought to find the artist behind such works to inform them that they have been made recipient of the Burbeth Grant for the literary advancement of the youths.
I'm sorry, the what?
Umbo, would you be so kind?
You are formally invited to join the Academy of Heirloom for the pursuit of the higher education of your choice, free of charge, should you choose to accept to benefit from this grant.
I'm pretty sure I screamed. Little old me! Taken into the intellectual elites of the country by what looked entirely like Providence. I ran to pack what little I had, and I may have even had time to sign a few select people to get eaten by beasts while Umbo and Adarga weren't looking.
My name is Omalindibi of Askidath, and I'm going to be a writer!
Huzzah!
My time in the academy was one I'll never forget.
Fresh off the streets, surrounded by snotty brats who had just wandered out of their parents' mansions, I defended the weak and stole from the less weak with my sharp wits and a particularly sharp stylus. I wish the teachers had been able to appreciate my subversive charm and my ingenuity as much as Adarka did, but it seemed, alas, like I was doomed to have what she so kindly referred to as
a proclivity towards irreverence.
I only got expelled once, so I still think I did fairly well, all things considered. And this is my magnum opus. A thoroughly researched fanfiction detailing the life of the Knight of the Upperfield. This is my headcanon. No hate, original characters, do not steal.
Nice.
Wow, Lynn! This is really detailed. It must have taken you ages to make. What were your sources?
What? Sources? Ate them? Life and Misadventures of the Inventive Knight of the Upperfield, or the Hayseed Knight, was soon being published and sung countrywide as a little gem of a parody. Almost no one asked for my head. I should have been happy, right? But no, I didn't make it up. I swear I had a source. It's... The more I thought about it, the less sense any of it made. My mind wandered back to that night I spent writing as if possessed. The fever dream that made this happen so many times over the years. But I found no answer inside my own memories. Why don't the words work?
Wow.
Burned out beyond redemption and crushed by the publisher's endless demands that I give up the historically accurate bit and just make a sequel already, I plunged deep into the depths of my work, wondering what could have ever been good about it. As I opened the original manuscript, I came face to face with it one last time. The owner of my words, mocking me. The silhouette with the hat and the staff that I'd come to identify as a portrait of all my headaches. The last reminder of that fateful night 7 years before. Adarga always said that someone vouched for my creativity, my intelligence, and all the things the years had stolen from me, to the point I could no longer see them within myself or anything I made. There was someone else with me that night. There definitely was. Come on, you have access to your sister's documents, right? There must be something about the person who made me write the book.
I can't betray her confidence like that.
She made a vow of anonymity.
But you didn't, and that was like forever ago. I bet the contract or the oath or whatever it was has expired already. Come on, I'm not going to do anything reckless, I promise.
Wow.
That same night, I recklessly packed my things and ran for it, leaving behind my studies, my burgeoning career, and a string of broken hearts. But I just couldn't help it. There's nothing that makes me angrier than a broken promise. And you didn't even come close to making good on yours. You tell the story, and I write. That was our deal when we met. And a promise is a promise, you crook. I'll find you, no matter what. You're not going to get away from me so easily, boss.
Yay!
Is that the true ending?
No, not even close.
Dag nabbit.
For being so long, you would have thought it was.
That's what I kept thinking.
I had a feeling that wasn't the 100% ending.
No.
I mean, it feels like the good ending for Lynn, but definitely not the good ending for Sepp and Ader and all them.
No.
So yeah. I like Jonas reacting to like Lynn other pride. I didn't want to say like a word of the joke. I was like, do not speak. I'm not speaking. But I can tell you that just with loading back to before the temple management section, you can get all 3 endings right now. You can get all the good all the endings right now. Do you have to do that?
I should do that, yes.
Except for the one joke ending we already missed, right?
Yeah, you also missed the joke ending.
It was the narrator all along.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in chapter 5. So there's like 80,000 words, something like that.
Good lord.
It's really fucking long. Hey, that's you.
Wait, what?
That
the
was
legendary
Griffin.
patrons.
Oh,
Yeah.
was in there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because you've given more than 100.
Welcome! Come on in! Get thy fill at Sir Upperfield's Greens. Meals fit for royalty.
Oh, that does look delicious.
Oh.
Roasted paprika taters, shakshuka, hummus, couscous, you name it, you got it, man.
I'll have to ask for your name then.
Adder finally looked up from his pan. His eye got lost in the depths of the blue above him.
Huh?
Do you come with a dish?
Huh?
I'm asking if you do deliveries.
Oh, darn right I do.
To Barhan's?
Even Macadar, if you please. Call me Adder the Delivery Deer.
Adder.
The wistful, almost melodic way in which he said his name sent shivers all the way to the tip of his tail.
What'll it be then?
Everything you have. I have to attend a play now. Could you bring it to this address by noon?
Anything, anywhere, anytime you want, ma'am.
Here's your payment. I'll see you later, handsome.
Adder couldn't stop himself from ogling the gazelle as she skittered away towards a group of very conspicuous, heavily armed guards.
See you later, Sap.
Wait, what?
He was like, "Wait, what did I just say?"
Well, because no, they were saying in the outro when he was with the other Barhan that he had forgotten Sep. That the curse had already taken hold again. But this one is like somehow he remembered her name, but he can't tell why.
How did Sep get back to like? Okay,
Sep magic.
Magic.
You have to play the other endings.
A wizard did it.
A GC did it. No.
The wizard's name was Sep.
No, the wizard's name was Pertok.
I mean, yeah, also figuring out what his deal is also something, I don't know. Was he like... Is he like the luck on Sep? Or Ina?
I think...
Was he supposed to be the steward of one of them?
Oh.
Good
so
luck.
I think...
Good luck.
Oh, man.
Bon chance?
I wish you much good luck, yes?
I have no idea.
Well, whatever you did before, don't do it.
So clearly Burbith's plan doesn't work, so we're just gonna not that.
My theory, we have to spend more time with Seth.
I can tell you, you can get all the relationships in one go. You have to be good with time management.
I have no idea what I'm managing, though.
Yeah, you don't know how much time these different actions are taking.
That's the thing. Like you have to, like it's intended to be like taking notes on like when relationships appear. You know what I mean?
So
that's
basically, maximize profit. Then.
So something I wouldn't be able to do during a stream, then.
No, you can get there. Like you only really need 2 relationships to get the other 2 endings, but it's figuring out which other 2. So.
Adder
You
found
gotta be like
himself
Beethoven.
pupil to many masters in his life. None of them, I must humbly add, particularly good teachers. That's why when he finally found himself alone in the forge, equipped with nothing but good intentions, and beholden only to Aina's empty gaze and the holy fire's soft crackling, he realized that nothing much had changed from the usual. He would have to forge his way into the world of blacksmithery alone.
If you like, there's also the mode for like skipping all text you've already seen. Like that's something you can turn on. So yeah.
Say again?
there's a skip mode, so like if you press skip, it will only skip the text that you've already seen.
Oh,
so the text that's new, it will not be skipped.
Suddenly, Ada.
Suddenly, Anna,
I feel like
standing
that's
behind you.
That's a good summary for the whole game. So, Elena.
Oh, that was it.
Like, if at any point you want me to like walk you through it, I can definitely do that too.
And I have no idea what I'm doing.
Fine. Just go for it randomly. Like, you can hit skip and just go for anything you'd like. You figure it out eventually.
Did we ever finish all the tasks last time? I don't think we did.
No.
Most everyone in the world has a unique characteristic of some kind. Labored breaths, nervous tics, heavy footsteps, strong body odor, something that immediately lets you know this person is around you far before you're even aware of them. Anna lacked any of this. Her presence was so subtle that she would easily fade into the background anywhere, and if she didn't want you to notice her, you just wouldn't. She was forgettable by default, even back when she was her usual self. Still, Ada had developed a 6th or 7th or 8th sense for discerning exactly when she was staring at him, after suffering quite enough surprise attacks on his person. In the corner of the forge, set firmly against the furthest wall from the fire, Anna looked in his direction, but she wasn't really looking at him.
Yeah, right. I've been living here for like 2 years now, and I've never needed a permit to wander around after curfew. You just ask for them when you feel like it.
Seems the itch always hits them around gazelles. That's admitting to a crime, you stupid hick! The curfew is absolute!
A brick flew right past the guard's face. He immediately put his spear up, looking for the thrower, but the number of people holding debris only increased with every threat he made. At the very last moment, when violence seemed like an inevitable turn, the gates clanked open once more. The cover of the night, a small half-dressed goat with her hair still down and a serious scowl on her face, walked out.
Stop! More screams wouldn't help you. What is the problem?
The problem is that the lot of you huffheads don't realize the position you're in. If you don't help me put shackles on the sword guy right now, I'm going to have everyone in the Sodding Temple arrested for obstruction!
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because that's the law! Do you know what a law is, you stupid goat?
The law! Everyone around him tensed up. Ja put her hand up.
What is the reason, the purpose of this law?
To stop no-gooders like you from...
Yeah, it's undeniable.
So you limit the rights of all the citizens in order to justify your own prejudice?
Guard stammered back. You almost hear him go red in the face in the dark.
I'm not the one who writes the rules, I just enforce them! This is unlawful occupation of public property! There will be consequences!
Unlawful? Get a load of this guy. Don't you know the temple belongs to that old Mother Hubbard Tespertalk?
This
It's
guy's
private
voice
property,
never
champ,
stops cracking
and he's letting
me
us
up.
stay here because he wants to.
What are you talking about? I'm over here in New York talking about mercantilism. What are you on about?
Ada felt
Look
like...
at this guy. And I thought my wife was bad.
Let's go for some blintzes! Ada felt like the guard immediately knew it was a bluff, but not which part.
Hey, I mean, if you want to be the buck who messed with the friends of Asefi...
We'll see about that!
Guard rushed away in a panic.
Oh, I'm blintzes.
There was a moment of silence and then immediately a huge ovation.
Woo! Way to stand your ground, Ezor!
No, we must not give an inch to the likes of him. But I have done nothing worth praising. This was just a scuffle. One day we'll have to prove the power of our conviction in a real fight. Tonight is the priestess's intervention. We should be celebrating! May your wisdom erase all hypocrisy from this world.
What? No flowers for Moo? No, I'm just messing with you all. This guy got it right for once. Long live the priestess.
I haven't really. Why are you?
The crowd happily stole Zhao away, launching her in the air and chanting her virtues while she yelped her lungs out.
Did you really have to bring up the witch, translator?
What? I wasn't the one who... Anyway, it was all true. Mostly. Kinda.
I'll let this one slide. I'd rather take my chance with the Sephi than the guard.
Little by little, the congregation that remained awake dispersed and went back to their tents. Adder, absolutely spent of any energy he could have gathered in 2 hours of sleep, headed back to the gate first. Right as he was about to cross in, Bearbeth rushed out. Behind him, Geoff desperately trying to pull him back into the
I heard the commotion in the yard.
Yeah,
Going to start Bearbeth.
the revolution.
You give it skip one. You can skip, and it will skip everything you've already seen.
That was weird.
I can. Let me know if you want tips. Like, just the moment you tell me, I will tell you.
Maxie, no backseating.
I know it's a frustrating process, so it's like there's a sim guide that will walk you through it. But like, since I'm here, like if you ever want tips, let me know, and I'll be glad to give you. Because I'm the only one who knows how this works. Everyone else is trying to figure it out. You know?
The ultimate strategy guide.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people like coming to the Discord being like, "Hey, how do I get the ending?" the guy who wrote the guide has like 100 hours in it.
Chat, what are we gonna do? We've got this little mouse and he's gotta save all of Barhankind.
And promise tomorrow!
Oh no! Who am I gonna go with? Aina or Sep?
Adder hammered away at the rivets on an old, unfinished shield, calmly, slowly. Every 4 strikes, he blinked. When he opened his eye again, there was never anything out of the ordinary. Everything remained exactly as it was in the forge, except for the faintest trace of smoke escaping from the tip of Aina's glove, and the unmistakable rage shining in her eyes. For rather understandable reasons, Sep was not particularly fond of talking about her powers, and she was never clear on where exactly their limits lay. She didn't consider herself a Sephi, be it out of a misplaced sense of humility or perhaps even superiority, but Servine society would have surely branded her so. Even so, Adder had known for a long time now that the Seppi was used to was just one of many forms of a being far beyond its comprehension. Yeah. Yeah, mad talk. Do. The word experiment was not part of Adder's vocabulary, but had it been, he would have ardently refused to call his intention something so ruthless. He just wanted to understand. Over the last few days, Adder had been carefully keeping his distance from Aina while in the forge. He didn't speak to her. He didn't look her in her direction. He just carefully hammered away at whatever piece of scrap metal he had at hand, pretending to keep his eyes shut. So Aina started moving, each and every time, like a glacier advancing through a fjord, inexorably towards the fire, and just as inevitably Adder would always call out to her, scared of what came next. Today would be no different. Neither Zhao nor Bearbeth had held it against Adder when he spent hours sitting in front of a silent flame, but he did. He held it against himself. There was so much more he could be doing. Wasn't he just slacking off? Wasn't all this just an excuse to avoid mingling with the rest? Sep never answered, alas. Adder wouldn't have called this an experiment. He wouldn't have known what to call the miscalculation that followed either. When Adder opened his eye right at the last moment, like so many other times, scared of leaving her alone with what remained of Sep, shaken to the core by Pertok's foreboding words, he'd hoped Aina would mechanically dash off to the far end of the room. But Aina didn't flee this once, not even when Adder screamed at her. She was so close. She just needed to reach out a little further and... Little puffs of hot air escaped through Adder's gritted teeth. It took all of his strength to leap forward and avert Aina's hand with his staff, and he was clasping her shoulder so forcefully with his other arm that he would have bruised anyone else. He couldn't stop shaking. What was that just now? Flashes reflected inside Adder's head disappeared so fast that he didn't even have time to process them, and they felt so distant. Like a rumor passed through the entire neighborhood before it reached his ears. Nothing like the way he inhabited Sep's memories. But he still felt the rage, the bloodthirst. Kill, kill, destroy, kill, protect, revenge. Against who? Sep? No. Something in his rattled bones whispered that this bad blood ran much deeper and older than that. Aina stared at the little bells hanging from Adder's staff, suddenly taken away from her rage, even though the fire remained right in front of her. Adder would never bring Aina back into the forge again.
So congratulations, you found a very rare thing. that's taken a lot of people like that's one of like the hardest things to get in the gallery. So that's good job. Congratulations.
Nice.
For thousands of years, different cultures all across Daknad considered fire to be both a great purifier and a terrible devourer. So much so that most severe of all punishments in Nakthor was being sentenced to burning to oblivion in a sacred pyre. Not only would the condemned person die a horrible death, their connection to the Hatsa would be destroyed along with it, aside them, so as to ensure their soul would never find its way back into the celestial stream. Deprived of a body and mind, this soul would be damned to an eternity of non-existence. Such was the fate of ghosts, who could only wander the face of Daknad corporeally until the end of time, or at least that's the way Adder learned it as a child. But those were not the ghosts Adder grew up knowing, and he never knew he knew ghosts. When a voice spoke to him from a dark corner, he just said, "Hi," back. When the highest, most delicious-looking apple from the tree fell right into his hands, he just thanked Baitat. If Adder had been anybody else, he would have quickly become one of the most famous clairvoyants in all of Daknad in his day. But then again, he wouldn't have been sitting by the fire, calmly talking to a heavenly manifestation of a god if he had been anyone else. Oh, that doesn't even do anything anymore.
I did. You just already saw the text, so it just got skipped.
It was just a fire and Adder tonight, too.
Hey, Bones.
You just go to the same thing, looks like.
No.
Yeah, you had done exactly.
No, that was.
Adder, please, if you... I've done... Look, you're right.
You
What I
have
said
to
wasn't
dialogue.
exactly true. Adder, please, if you don't go to the king, he'll be coming to you, and he won't come alone. You think I haven't noticed the way you've been scouting the area? I'm the one who's been keeping the guards away from you all along.
Ooh.
I've done all I could, Adder. But there's no way in Dakna you're going to find a way out of the temple once there's an entire battalion surrounding you. Think of all the people taking refuge here. Nobody will have time to escape. Look, you're right. What I said wasn't exactly true. I don't actually think you could change anything, but it'll buy Zhao and the rest time. So please, I beg you, come with me. You're the only one I can trust.
No.
I like how you see no and skip everything.
Skip everything.
No, yeah.
We already saw this.
Oh no, it all happened again.
Yeah, sorry.
You got the exact same ending.
Oblivion.
You can click to skip too.
Welcome!
Excuse me.
Okay, let's see here. Where's that Steam guide?
I can be your Steam guide or your uncle.
I was gonna say you might have something slightly better than the Steam guide. I mean, if you're gonna be looking at the walkthrough anyway.
Hi, boys.
Hey!
Hey!
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty swell.
Glad
How are you
to hear
fine
it.
folks, Helden?
Yeah, that's a pretty
feel that.
accurate summary.
Yeah, no, also the Steam guide is not right. You know, they're not wrong, but they're not.
They're not right, but they're not wrong.
Yeah, it's like they got the stuff they needed in the end, but they didn't go about it right, so they're completely wrong about the reasoning. I'm happy for you. You got where you wanted to be. You just were completely wrong about your method.
It's a beautiful little track playing.
It is. I like this one. It's very
So
moody.
melancholy. Yeah. I love all the music in this game.
Thank you. You look distant today, babe. Is something the matter?
Maxie, I am curious. Of the endings you wrote, you don't have to give me the details, but of the endings you wrote, is there like a really bad ending? Like a, you know, like an everything goes wrong ending?
No, I mean, you get killed. And like, if you don't meet the requirements for an ending, you get killed.
Oh, okay, well, okay, that's it then. Okay, I was just, oh yeah.
There's one joke bad ending. Like there's one bad ending in chapter 3. That is like more extended than that. But there's that, and then the joke ending is just a joke.
Gotcha.
I was actually going to sing the lyrics to the ending. Sorry, at the ending credits, I was going to sing it with lyrics, but I didn't feel like it. It was too much fun.
You know what? That's a pretty valid excuse.
Yeah,
Just like I was gonna do it, but I didn't feel like it.
That's completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I had like a million other things to do, so I was like, oh no, fuck it. In the list of priorities, me singing a song is not very high up there, you know.
Yeah. Totally. Anyway, Void, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty swell. Feeling good getting to hang out with you fine folks. Where are we at in the game?
Pretty,
according to this, I did lock myself out of the good ending.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
We got
you have the good ending. You're in the path to the good ending. You have it. You have the requirements to the best ending already.
Had to step away for like the last half hour or so. What did I miss?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Rocks fell, everyone died.
Yeah, no, you have the requirements for the best. You just have to get this path right to get it.
Here, Fed, I'll fill you in. Hang on.
So, as I said, they got the ending. They got the results they wanted, but the reasoning is wrong.
Okay. Okay then. That. One second, let me make sure that I can actually look at this table correctly, so I don't do it in. Why does it have to be arranged like this? This doesn't make any sense.
I have no idea. As I said, like it gets what it gets where they want it to be, but that's I haven't checked it out because I know it's not right.
Okay.
You click on the brand new dialogue option and it's like, you seem tired today, babe.
You look distant today, my dear.
Hang on. Cam's actually here.
Yeah, so Cam's listening. Say it.
Go ahead and say it.
What am I saying?
Okay, so
you look distant today, babe.
Yeah, say you look distant today, babe, in the Elbar voice.
You look distant today, babe.
That was too high. Give me less trouble. Give me like more like a little bit less high pitch. You know?
More up and down.
Less up and down.
Okay, gotcha.
Maxie immediately jumps into like, no, not like that, like this.
You look distant today, babe.
That's much closer.
That's kind of a trouble. That's fantastic. I love it regularly.
See, we had this session a few nights ago where we kept it was during the Steps internal memory diary section, and we kept looping back to that scene over and over again with Elbar being like, "You seem distant today, babe." And it was slowly driving us all insane.
I love it, guys. I love it. You look distant today, babe. Is something the matter?
You look distant today, babe. Is something the matter?
Yo, the best part is I don't remember ever recording that line of dialogue.
Of course you don't, but we all have to remember.
You only remember the one. Actually, my stream has been like dead for a while now. Let me get this again. Ooh. Why is the stream working for me? Oh no!
Make it work.
Then it'll grab.
Let me leave and come back.
I still can't wrap my head around.
Presto worko.
A8.
Now I can see it.
Etor.
Yay.
Midday. Barabeth.
Yeah.
Jow.
Yeah, my internet works like this.
Burbith, more like Boobith, am I right?
Oh,
I'm trying to follow the joke.
Adder, whose brain had a limited capacity for pre-planning and general task organization, spent a good long while thinking about what to do with his day. After much pacing around the forge thinking about what the best course of action could be, his gaze finally fell on the silent smith accompanying him. Perhaps he could afford to be a little more proactive in checking in on his in-laws.
In my head, I'm...
Hold on. Is this a suggestion of the implication that Adder thinks they are together now, therefore confirming ain't Adder canon?
I just wanted a cheeky description. But sure, 7 Adder canon.
Oh, yuck. Terrible name for an OT3. Let's just call them the trio for now.
Fair enough, but that doesn't account for any future additions to the group.
You wouldn't dare! You are drunk with power!
That is exactly how it feels to be a writer.
Yeah. Adder feared the worst when he heard something crackle within her mouth, until he saw the bucket of snails on the table.
Oh, hey, you're eating snails.
Yeah,
Fine,
man.
confirmed.
He's back a punch. Sun wolves on a trip lake. Oh. Here, you want to try?
All the cool kids are doing it. You want to be a cool kid, don't you,
I just
Adder?
came today to ask if you knew what's the deal with Aina. She hasn't been herself since she came back.
Self, no self, to control the self, to defeat the self that is not the self. Man, my big sis has it rough.
You should not have asked her when she was high, Adder.
Look,
Big
he
sis?
doesn't know.
She's your senior then?
Senior. She's a senior, no doubt. But you already knew that, didn't you? You don't look very surprised.
AKA going persona.
Like, well, yes, he did know that Aina was older. He just didn't click
I'm
until
used to
now.
that sort of stuff. When one's got 3 little brothers and they all look 10 years older than him when their horns were just starting to sneak out of their skulls, he just kind of stops trying to guess at ages. Knowing she's the older sister now, I think that's why we get along so well. We're both used to taking care of everyone around us. She takes care of me, and I try to do what I can to take care of her at least.
Mm-hmm. She's special like that. I mean, caring isn't exactly how I would describe our image of a role model, but Aina's never given a single damn about what the pack wanted at all.
So, Aina is a...
Nope.
You sure about that?
Eka scratched the back of her ear. It seemed as if she was trying to find a polite way to answer a completely ridiculous question.
What do you know about us, Bones?
I know y'all eat deer.
Right, I thought as much. The pack was sent to the world with a purpose, and it was made as the howling winds thought we were meant to be. We were not made to last, and we were not made to grow. In other words, Baitat was the fun guy, wanting toys that last. But we know we were an afterthought. Aimai made creatures he didn't truly want to keep in his world. The way we see it, the souls we were given were all the souls we'd ever have. So, the pack gave each soul a name, to make sure we wouldn't lose them. When the deer fought us, we lost many souls. Our mission could not be completed, until the pack found that they could make more of us. More flesh bags, but not more souls, surely.
Why not?
Beats me. I can tell you exactly how to make a litter, but not how to give them a soul.
Huh. I never thought about that. I mean, we kind of just, woo, wah, and there's a ball, and we're pretty sure it's
Really?
a hole.
Is that how it works?
Same brain cell.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is what happened. Like,
Sure
like
spend a
everything
lot
is
more
getting out
time
from
making
the
litters than thinking about them. We have a more structured approach to bringing new life, to put it one way. Our years are cut into seasons for litter making, and weaning as well. The cycle starts when all the packs gather their cubs. It doesn't matter if there's war or peace, or what species they are, we're all lumped together. And the names are revealed to us. But I am different. I am Eka, Tessica, for it was the Baron called Tess Pertok who named me and gave me a soul. I am always a wolf, and I am sister to Tessaina, for it is my duty to listen to and take care of her, furthering the name of our pack.
Eka twirled a snail shell around between her fingers, watching its pale, bleached shell. Adder was thoroughly confused by that last explanation, but what he did understand brought forth a peculiar question into his mind.
What was Aina like as a cub?
I don't know. Just like this, I'd bet. Absent and self-absorbed. Too angry to dance to the beat of any drum but her own. She's been the same since long before Eka came to be.
You mean before you were born?
In a way, yes.
Eka stretched out her...
Keep up, I get it.
Eka stretched out her arms in an exaggerated fashion.
Man, that was a whole lot of nothing, Snails always get me like this. Hey, not to scare you or anything, but you should probably get going. All this rambling really opens up my appetite.
And then he was gone.
Okay, it's just the best thing.
Day 9,
He got the
midday,
month.
Bearbeth. Control. Day 9, evening.
Yeah, I can hear you all, but like, whoop. I can hear you all, but the fucking stream isn't working on my internet anymore because I guess there's more guests now around here.
Kick him off.
Yeah. Tell him the party's over.
Daytime, midday, Geoff.
Just, go kick him in the dick.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I'm fucking ready to go.
Day 10, evening, Bearbeth.
As I said, like, the guide is not right about what it like, he kind of like gets by chance the requirements right.
Midday, Bearbeth. Evening, Jow.
Like that the comment is not to like sit on the guide, like it took an amazing amount of effort to make. Just wrong about how.
Hey, Jow, come here for a sec.
Jow stood in front of Adder, confused. He motioned her a little closer yet. When she was close enough, he put a blue fabric around her shoulders and then loosely pulled at the edges so they'd fall over her chest.
Are we having another makeover?
No. See, this is my cape. Well, it ain't no cape. It's a banner with a few stitches, really, but it's my good luck charm. It used to be, anyway. When I wore it, I always felt like I could do anything. Like I could smile no matter what.
Axie, I was wondering, is it possible to hang out with all of the characters to the max in one playthrough of Chapter 5?
If you just come at it as you ain't ever going to be able to stop thinking you ain't good enough.
Jow observed in silence, getting the clear impression that Adder needed a moment.
Now, I met this old man a few years ago. A buck that hated his job, even more than I did. He hated giving orders and acting like he knew better than the rest when he'd made so many wrong choices in his life. He feared dragging others down with him. This old man was always afraid, yeah? But when he put on his cape and walked into a courtyard, he wasn't an old man anymore. He was Mr. Captain, and Mr. Captain always got a plan, and Mr. Captain loved his job, and Mr. Captain knew no fear. We always looked up to Mr. Captain, and he wasn't half as kind, wise, and pretty as Miss Priestess is.
Jow stood agape for a moment. A moment later, she almost headbutted Adder in the face with her huge horns as she leapt into his arms, face hidden in his chest so as not to let him see her cry. She couldn't do anything to disguise the weird chuckles she kept sobbing out.
Did you have Dad, pretty?
Hey, something I tell you every so often.
You know I only like women, yes?
Whoa! What? I never got the impression.
Jow laughed into Adder's chest. The sight of it made up for the terrible pain the gesture caused. They continued holding each other like that for a couple of minutes. Once she had calmed down a little more, Jow pulled away with a runny nose and a shaky smile.
Thank you. You almost didn't make it weird.
She removed the cape from her neck and gently pushed it back in Adder's hands.
I can't accept this, however. It's a beautiful thought, but it means more to you than it will ever mean to me.
Guess I'll have to find someone else to force this whole thing on then, because I don't think this buck here is going to feel like smiling anytime soon.
What about Ada?
The yellow deer let out a chuckle despite himself. He spun the shepherd's crook within his hands, leaned back into the wall and tilted the curve of his staff towards his forehead.
Adder may need to. Yeah.
Zhao stood on the tip of her hooves to place a cape back on top of Adder's shoulders. She pulled at the ends to tie it into a ribbon and said,
I will find my own confidence, or lacking that, a charm that may lend me the strength to stand up on my own 2 feet. And when that time comes, I pray we shall walk side by side for a long time, Sir Adderson.
Adder made a very awkward curtsy with his cape, which Zhao imitated as well. They both laughed heartily at the gesture.
I can't wait for you to meet Sep. She's gonna love you.
I'll do my best to make it so.
Nah, you ain't even gotta try. You're a natural like that.
I wish I could say that Zhao never overworked herself again, or that Adder never hid another secret after that day, but that was, of course, not the case. All they could do was take baby steps toward the new lives waiting for them.
Priestess and the Hangman. Ooh.
Day 12, evening, L-Bar.
I like the little smug L-Bar. They're speaking my language.
I think.
It wouldn't be completely...
Is it too late? Oh, go for it.
You can say something.
I was going to say, is it too late to get the Banjo-Kazooie voice mod working?
Sorry, what?
I actually have someone complain once, Adder felt like a person. Like they were like, oh, this is like a person, not like a cartoon character. I was like, what? So, yeah.
It wouldn't be completely correct to say Adder arrived at the empty room, no. As far as he was concerned, he had manifested in the 3-walled brick house at some point and had been screaming ever since. A barrage of ideas crossed his mind, following each other like a battering ram striking at his temples. But of course, guilt always made a fine companion on nights like this, where he sat alone in the dark. Our distressed protagonist smashed his antlers against the ground where his bed had once been, trying to drown the imaginary sound of his searching thoughts.
You still got time to get. Nobody gotta know you came here.
That's where he was wrong, however. The astringent smell of cheap liquor that could barely count as such started seeping into the room, followed by a slow thumping noise and the buzz of poorly tuned strings about to snap. An oud wasn't generally the kind of item one would use as a crutch, but Geoff had stopped caring about chores such as correct maintenance of musical instruments long prior. A colorful succession of insults coming from the surrounding shanty indicated that it may not be wise to scream a second time.
Sheesh! Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Is that your plan, to keep me by your side? Away with you, foul creature! I told you I'm leaving!
I noticed that the theme here is the characters getting drunk or stoned.
Well, I think it's I've been told my whole life by people
I
who
don't know why I came. I tried to go back, but my heart beats super fast and my hands are numb and I can't think and I'm dying.
I mean, it makes sense for the kind of theme. And like, do you remember how in Majora's Mask you had the Lon Lon Ranch? They were given the like alcoholic milk to the child, so she wasn't awake during the end times.
Wait, what? Oh wow! No, but like I've been surrounded my whole life by people who were like very cagey, and they only would be like honest when they were drunk. So I feel like it's kind of like a going thing.
Yes, I'm happy to see you too. So, is it the free advice of a friendly bard you seek on this lonely moonlit eve? Oh, fine, just this once, for old time's sake. You are still adorable, deep down. If the question of what you want so stumps you, then let's turn that thought on its head. What is it you absolutely do not want?
I don't want you to get.
Did you think I give a damn about your opinion?
No! I know I can't change it! I know there ain't nothing I can do for any of you!
Adder sank his head between his shoulders as he said this, feeling a surge of rage that had honestly little to do with Geoff, or with any of the people yelling threats and insults back at him. Geoff plopped down on the sack filled with straw that had once been Adder's bed. He stretched his arms up as far as he could.
So you say. And yet here you are.
Geoff wiggled his head, struggling to turn towards Adder without slamming the brim of his hat against his nose. Once the garment stopped blocking his view, he took his sweet time to examine Adder's face. The younger deer was staring at him with glassy eyes, hoping to get some guidance. Geoff sighed like he wanted to empty his lungs.
All right. Listen up, lad. It's time for Uncle Geoff's life lessons for lost fawns.
I ain't no...
Chip. My genius is at work. Yes, I have it. You have a problem. A handful, I'd say, really, but it's not just me leaving. It's a bigger concept, and it's been eating you up your whole life, hasn't it? The self-doubt, the fear of rejection. Oh, how you dread breaking the rules. You keep thinking of all the people you're going to disappoint with every choice you make. You just try to please everyone, but no one ever gives you a medal just for trying.
A few instants passed in silence. Adder shook his head insecurely, unsure of whether Geoff really meant that. Even in the rare, truly honest moments they'd shared over the last year, Geoff's face always had a mocking edge. Never too comforting, never too cruel. And yet this time Adder could tell that Geoff was trying to be compassionate through his drunken haze.
I don't need a reward, Bard. I don't need nothing. All I ever wanted was to make them all proud. But it's always the same. New friends to disappoint. More folk I won't ever dare to look in the eye again.
Adder took a hand to his eye patch. Though the wounded head no longer hurt, the scar was a nasty reminder. There was a memory that never healed right there on the left side of his face.
Ugh, you sound just like my mother. Family is family. And family sucks. But they'll always be family? Why did you have to bring up family? I didn't want to think about them now. Ah!
The conversation took a turn for the gloomy, but Adder had long learned that was just the norm whenever Geoff opened up. Mr. Bard could only sing for so long.
Look, Adder, I don't know what you've gone through, and I don't give a crap. Honest to bite, Todd, keep that stuff to yourself. But I know a thing or two about trying your damnedest at something and getting punched in the gut at every chance.
Do you? I ain't never seen you fight one day.
No, you fool! I mean, I tried. I, too, did all I could for the people I loved, poured my soul to honor my name. And you see all the good it did? See what's become of me now? At least, I found that once you stop caring about your mistakes, so does everyone else.
But I can't just do that. I don't want people to stop caring about me.
And you really think anyone's ever cared?
Words, powerful as they are, require a certain skill that Adder had never possessed, so he didn't say a thing. He just looked at Geoff until the bard could no longer hold his gaze.
I'm sorry, lad. You know I didn't mean that either.
It's okay. You got it right this time. Who could care about a buck like me? That's like the whole reason I want to be a knight, wasn't it? Sir Adderson of the Upper Field. Knight of the Order of the Lost Causes.
Geoff jumped out of his bed the very moment Adder's shoulders began slumping.
Hey, no, don't say that. Adder, look at you. You're a great boy. Huge. The cream of the crop of friends. I may doubt your skills, but bring oblivion upon my soul if I doubt your resolve for a moment. Don't look away now. See this? I'm the bad example, okay? Whatever I did, do the opposite. Don't take life lessons from a piss-poor excuse for a bard that gave up too soon on his own dreams.
Outbursts of sincerity weren't precisely common in Adder's only friend, so the buck stared in awe. Geoff was clearly put off as well, seeing as he tried to hide his entire face under his hat. A tense silence lingered just a moment longer. Before Geoff could do anything to prevent it, Adder lifted him off the ground with the gentleness he would usually save for a baby.
All right, Bard. That's enough nice words from you today. Time to sleep it off.
God, oh, flea-infested hay bale! a plague on thy house if thou dost dare put me to sleep. Are you listening?
Adder not only did that, but he also tucked the little drunkard in among protests. Yoff's eyes are still open like platters, but the yellow deer waited patiently by his friend's side just to spite him. Just moments after being forced to lie down, Yoff struggled to escape the confinement of the sheets, only managing to bring out his left arm to point out the ode lying in the corner. Adder got up and brought it to him. Yoff sat up, reaching for the mistreated instrument eagerly. Inspiration had struck.
Living in fear isn't living at all. Escaping temptation is vain. If you do indeed wish to outrun it, hold up. The fastest way is to give in. Well, have I convinced you this time?
Yoff didn't get to hear Adder's thoughts on his slurred improvisation. Instead, our hero slowly straightened his back as he got up, showing off his gigantic shoulder span in the process. His face was red as a tomato and a bit teary-eyed, but he was filled with fire inside.
You're right. I can't escape this feeling anymore.
I can't fight this feeling anymore.
Dang habit.
Completely oblivious to the misunderstanding and unguaranteed hope he just sparked, Adder jumped to his feet. His sight was locked on the door.
I need to face it, Bard. I'm a coward. I don't want to be anywhere near this mess. I want to escape. But what would that fix? I gotta give in to it. I'm here to stay. I'm here to help my friends no matter what it costs.
What are you talking about? Adder! Adder, come back here!
Unfortunately, watch Geoff say something nice for once.
Yeah. In the previous choice, there's the joke ending. It doesn't affect anything there. Like, it just gives you a little joke ending.
Did we ever get Elka's face on that before?
No.
I mean, if they want to see the joke ending, play through the game yourself, everybody in chat. Go buy it.
Yeah, go buy it.
Play through the game. Give me money. I need money to make games.
That's right.
Please, give them money. I want to work with Maxie again.
We all want to work with Maxie. Give Maxie money.
Hell yeah.
Yes, give Maxie money so he can hire me as a dev.
Adder stomped his way across the filthy underside of the Capitol one last time.
Yep.
He memorized the way by now, and he was absolutely going to reach the ship no matter what it took. Eka looked up lazily from the shell necklace she was tying together. It was evident that she'd just been making some time until his inevitable arrival.
If you're here to get Aina back, you're going to have to go through my whole crew, Bones.
No, I'm here to see you this time. Pertok said a whole lot of stuff, but one thing really stuck with me, and I'm not going to rest till I get this whole thing straight. What was all that about Pertok saying you ain't his daughter?
Oh, that was just his opinion, of course. I'm Eka, and Eka is the daughter of Pertok. So I guess he means that I'm not the Eka that Aina knew.
Silence. Eka looked eagerly at Adder, awaiting his reaction.
Then who the hey?
I told you, I am Eka. The great Eka. The only Eka. Just the great 20th or 30th or 40th. You get where I'm going. Maths are hard. Souls and names. Names and souls. Some fight their destiny, but if the moon says I'm Eka, who am I to argue? I let myself be molded into what the pack said I was meant to be. It's an honor to be the first wolf to be named since the beginning of time. The bringer of words and knowledge, Tessica of Basaxarat. That should have been plenty grand a title for me, wouldn't you say? I should have been content with just that. But the more I thought about it, the smaller I felt within this name. I didn't want to be just another body in the cycle. So I thought, no, I'm not going to be just an Eka. I will be the Eka. I will be so great that mine will be the face the pack thinks of when they think of her. And here we are now. That makes me a fake, I suppose.
Adder moved his mouth senselessly. He needed a moment to process all this information.
You think Aina knew?
Ekka's energy deflated a little. She sat back again.
See, that's the tricky part, Bones. You know my sister. She's not the best with the concept of change. And I bet you felt up close how good my family is at handling feelings. Any of them. Except murderous fury, maybe. Dad wasn't exaggerating. The legends talk about Aina snapping. Destroying everything indiscriminately. Just a mass of rage. But the first Ekka never witnessed any of it. She was sent away and died without Aina's knowledge. So someone figured, hey, let's not tell the catastrophe about that whole miserable life and death cycle business. And maybe she won't kill us all.
Adder thought for a moment. He felt a sense of dread looming over him.
Should you be telling me all these things?
I don't know, pup. Is there any particular reason I shouldn't?
Secrets ain't meant to be shared.
Says who? Your gods? Is it written in a deer book? Can you show me the exact line?
You just shouldn't. That ain't stuff for you to tell.
We're all good then. It's my secret. And I'm telling you because I want to.
Ekka looked at Adder with her usual patient unreadability. She put a hand on Adder's hair and patted the top of his head very softly.
You deer have so many years to live and thrive, yet you waste them. You in particular. I hear you had dreams too. I like people who dream. Makes me feel less arrogant. Maybe that's why I'm so sweet on you. This Ekka won't live to see your dreams come true. Aina, though, no matter how many lifetimes pass, how many times she's reset back anew, Aina'll always be Aina, no matter what Aina she is. She will see you and all the yous to come. I may even be a little jealous.
Why are you talking like your life's already over?
I heard that a deer's turn is 7 times longer than a wolf's. And I've never known one of us to live past 18. I've heard stories of one that lived to 23. But none of us have ever survived to reach 2 cycles. We can't cling to our souls the way you do. With a lifespan like yours,
I like how at first the wolves make no sense, but then you have these conversations with EKA and everything about them suddenly makes more sense in retrospect.
Yeah.
But then the competition for all the other Ekka would have been bigger too, right?
Wow, I never thought about it like that. I'd still try though, right? I mean, you don't need your whole life to shine. You only need the 2 or 3 moments that you carry with you forever. So, I want you to value your life a little more, Bones. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Be who you want to be. The day you understand that, you'll be unstoppable.
I want to be someone who helps others. I want to be someone worthy of all my friends.
That's a good pup.
Be the
Go get started on that. We don't have time to waste.
Ooh, ow.
Adder's ears kept flicking left and right, despite his best efforts to stay asleep. They wouldn't stop moving on their own, even though he couldn't hear a single thing. But wait, perhaps, if he strained his ears enough, he could hear some kind of whistling? No, not quite. Its rhythm sounded almost like a deep breath. Adder dared to open his eye at last. And there she was, the absent owner of the forge. And had somehow found her way back to the temple, despite everything.
Oh, it's just Max. Go back to sleep.
One second. And she wasn't the only one. A polite knock on the second floor metal plank told Adder all he needed to know about the caller outside. Illigrab smiled through the only sliver that could be seen of him beyond the colonnade.
Adder, my lad! I meant to drop by and check up on you, but I see you're already in good company. Aina! I was wondering where in the world you'd wandered off this time. I'm so happy to find you reunited with your sweetheart. Oh, love truly trumps all.
Not thanks to you.
Nope, not thanks to me. Hey, you're not wrong about that.
Ilgrab squinted at the tiny golden drops he had for eyes into something vaguely resembling a forced smile.
Speaking of reunions, Elbar's been asking a lot about you lately. It seems he's had quite the change of heart, however. Instead of screaming about the one-eyed scoundrel he so loves to hate, he's been sighing about a certain Sir Upperfield.
Sighing, you say?
The look Ilgrab sent in Adder's direction was enough to fill volumes.
Oh, come on! You gonna tell me it's a crime to pretend to be someone else now?
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. But you already know that, don't you?
This silence was so heavy that Adder forgot how to breathe.
You know, Adder, I've never been any good at improvising like you are. It's a talent I didn't sprout with. What I do is plan every situation far, far ahead. I gather all the knowledge I can, and then I try to be prepared. And as I was preparing for the 45 ways I could go about this conversation, I thought, Adam mentioned he was drafted to serve under Lord Thumar's command, didn't he? Wasn't that the fort that was trampled a couple years ago? How could a soldier from a foreign province pass as a refugee so easily? Cue my surprise when I found out that the only 3 Addison, son of Gerfath, we have records of in the last decade were safely relocated to Scilly and Chappie with their families and never served any time near the southern frontier.
Say what? Ha! Lousy letters. You skipped my name.
Wrong answer.
Darn it all right. You got me. I didn't want to say it in front of Aina, okay? I wasn't a soldier. I was just bluffing.
Don't try me, boy.
My parents forgot to tell anyone I was born?
Are you done yet?
What are you exactly waiting for me to say, Epilogue? That Adderson, son of Gerfath of the Upper Field, is a deserter and a liar? That the one truth he said was that he was no one at all? You're gonna have to wring the rest out of my dead body.
As I said, I'm impressed. Addison is truly a man of his own invention, and that takes courage. It takes a great deal of strength to turn around one day and be the person you decided you wanted to be. I vastly underestimated you, kiddo. It won't happen again.
Ilgrab rapped his knuckles against the column with a strength he usually handled better.
You're still not gonna arrest me?
Arrest you? For being a better liar than I expected?
For the long list of crimes I've committed?
Well, if he hasn't done it yet.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret I've spent many years cultivating among friends, Adder. A peacemaker is no law enforcer. I don't belong to the army either. I mediate, negotiate, and veil for the peace in this kingdom. Do you understand? I have the unique and exclusive privilege of deciding what peace means. And I refuse to live a peace where I have to pretend the law is capable of respecting anyone its writer barely saw as people.
Those sure are some high and mighty words for what boils down to saying you're a huge liar.
What? You never wondered why I liked you so much? I saw a tiny young me in you, lad. From the very first moment I felt how much love you held for Aina, I knew you were someone I could trust. Someone smart enough to acknowledge differences, yet still look for the best in others. Good people are as good people do, Adder. Be a good boy. Help me make this city a better place, and I'll be there putting out fires by your side, just like we always used to.
Something clasped Adder's heart as he watched a tree turn. His mouth spoke of its own.
Hey, Epilogue, what's a carnivore?
Ilgrab stopped walking. He turned around with a huge smile plastered across his face.
Why, someone who eats horns, of course. I have to return to my duties. You take care now, lad. I'll be watching your show from afar.
From very far.
Adder sent one last look in Ada's direction before lying back down on his bed. He knew she wouldn't be there when he woke up.
I beg you, just a few...
How about...
Ba-da-ba-ba. Bop, bop, bop.
Just Boxer says midnight has now come. Now everybody kiss.
Okay.
Get that big away from me.
I also think we got quite a bit of few.
No. Do not refuse.
Oh.
All right. Give me a moment to get dressed and.
Wait,
but does
Monster's dead.
Oh no! It's all going to be broken. No!
Hold them off!
Oh, the image is going to be broken now.
No!
Don't hurt her! Maybe we can still talk to.
Don't try to play hero now! Get away while you can! There's no reasoning with carnivores!
With what?
Adder stopped running.
Yeah, if you keep up with animation, should just break down. That's fine.
Adder, he turned around and looked at the scene in front of him.
Adder? What are you doing? Run, you fool!
You're the bear man.
Oop, jig's up.
The wolf dropped down from Illigrab's hand to his side that could have blown the whole building away.
Would it kill you to wait to do things as you're told just once, Eka?
Eka shrugged with a nonchalance that colored everything she did.
Hey, I thought he knew from the beginning. I wasn't sure if that was classified information.
It was.
Illigrab squinted at the tiny golden drops he had for eyes into something vaguely resembling a forced smile.
Let me guess. I slipped and said carnivore again. Fancy word, isn't it? I always thought that beast sounded really derogatory. Not the kind of thing you'd say to a friend's face. Though this one insists on calling me a bear.
Can y'all please cut the crap now? The king is dead! What's gonna happen to the folks in the temple?
That'll depend on what you want to do with that information, pup. Then again, what could you even do? Who could you possibly tell?
Adder bit the inside of his cheek. Who, indeed?
I'm sorry, Adder. There are bigger things than you. Bigger things than them happening. Something so big, mortal lives look very little in comparison. But you're a smart lad. You already knew that, didn't you?
Flattery ain't gonna get you nowhere with me. What's the big idea?
I'm sorry, didn't I make myself clear enough? I said it's bigger than a mortal's life. That includes yours, last time I checked.
Come on, don't be mean to Bones. He's cool. I'm sure he'll understand.
What would you say if I asked you to serve a new country, Adder?
You brought Beast to put Sepp in the throne?
Goodness, no. I've known Little Miss Ego since she spoke like this. Thar was a gem, but she raised a clod. No, I am asking you to dream of something different. I want you to imagine a land with no kings or queens. A world where we are all truly equal.
Where nobles can't do whatever they want?
Think bigger yet. A world where money can't bend the rules. A world where the law won't look down on you for being anything but a deer. A world where you are free to be a person, not just a list of traits.
I'd say that sounds like a whole load of nothing, Illigrab. How are you going to achieve that?
It's back to basics, of course. We will eat the rich.
That's one of them metaphors?
Meta what?
Adder, I want to properly introduce you to our old and new compatriots. The hurricane that Agathor needed to shake the chains that have kept us all grounded for centuries. The children of Aimai, carnivores.
You're some type of beast too, then?
No! How many times are we gonna go over this? I am a tree deer man. I'm literally a fur.
Hey, I'm not judging. You say you're a tree deer man. I support you living your best life.
Illigrab sighed. He then assumed
Some
more
of the dialogue in this.
The storm will not be stopped. You can sail with us, or you can drown.
You really mean to threaten me into joining y'all, Illigrab? All the stuff you've been saying lately. It don't sound like you at all. I thought you were one of the good guys.
What would you know about good and bad, Adder?
And who are you to decide who is and who isn't? That's exactly the same as what the king was doing.
You're still just a fawn deep down. A tiny, naive sprout to 104 years of age. I have traveled the world, and I have had quite some time to think about all that I saw. I truly love you all from the bottom of my wooden, sappy heart. I have strived my whole life to become a better me with each passing day. But what I get in exchange is a kingdom where those who aren't deer are treated as less than shrubs. You let your horns speak for you, and yet you laugh at those who won't fit your perception of who should have them. You abuse them.
Almost slipped
You feel
into
the
doing
need to
Perth
put
talk
them
there.
in their place, to be thankful for their precarious situation. I haven't dared sire a child after seeing Rose stepping on poor helpless sprouts far to the south and even eating them to the west. I don't wish any harm upon you personally. I've tried my best to keep you safe and walking a path of righteousness. But if letting you live means letting the kingdom suffer, then the world will have to do with one less deer.
Say you kill me. Then what, huh? You know this won't solve a thing. You think they're gonna believe for 1 second that a bunch of beasts killed the king? No! They're gonna blame the Barhans. That's just gonna make them suffer more. All the folks in the temple never had a chance to say they agreed with your idea. And after talking so high and mighty about getting stepped on by all the people in power, you really gonna sacrifice them too to some higher good?
Illigram sighed, deflated from the looming presence he'd been just seconds before.
If you set foot outside this room, I'll have you killed. What will it be then?
A strange numbness crawled up Adder's neck. He could barely feel his face or his arms. Forced by pressure squeezing his very mind, Adder shut his eyes and focused. Void, you are making a lot of noise.
My apologies.
This was it. Turning point in his life.
It's the point of no return. Yes, we love the point of no return. You gotta make a decision, stick with it, cause it's the point of no return.
Oh, man.
Y'all need a way to show that the deer were in on this, right? That we want to change too. If anyone's gonna deal with our problems, that's us. So leave me here and blame me then.
Adder, what are you saying?
I ain't good for a whole lot of stuff. But Batot knows no one takes the rap like I do. Let me be the one who killed him. That'll get the Barhans some time at least.
And let you steal the glory of my hunt? Not a chance.
Heka, please! This isn't about glory! Adder's, he's truly offering to shoulder the blame so that not another drop of blood needs to be wasted. He believes in us, deep down.
Illigram kneeled down on one leg. He put a firm hand on Adder's shoulder and gazed into his eye.
You've really grown into the fine man I always saw in you, Adder. But I won't look away while you lay your life to waste, twice. It's time to run.
I can't! Running away won't solve anything! I gotta make sure I stay to tell everyone I did this and face him!
That's enough heroics from you today, boy! Crew, show him the way to the ship before the guards arrive!
To oblivion with all of you! Killed us! You wish you had a fraction of a centesimi of the power required to achieve that!
Did you just hear the kings?
Run!
Only a tree, a corpse, and a wolf remained in the scene. Eka huffed into the king's head.
You're a complete slime ball. You know that?
What? I didn't do anything. He came to the right conclusion on his own.
Eka didn't add anything else. She merely kicked the king's head like a ball on her knees on the way out. Adder curled into a ball in his little bunk bed in a dark corner of the shared bedroom, where no one had even bothered to check on him in hours. Would they care if he escaped? Was it because they knew nobody would ever listen to him? Deserter once, deserter twice. They'd know. They'd all know. He'd obviously just run away again.
Bones! That's enough sulking for today. Get your tail over here.
The looping thoughts were only briefly interrupted by Eka's command. Adder dragged his feet out of bed and towards the dining hall. When he opened the door, he found a band of wolves wagging their tails and sniffing around. Eka stood with her back turned to him, watching over Aina's deactivated body. She motioned Adder to come closer. Adder couldn't help the terror he felt walking towards him. They could surely smell it. The fear of what he was about to see, the discovery that his best friend wasn't actually the person he'd always thought, if a person at all. But when he gazed upon the little compartment that had been opened inside Aina's chest, so dark and sterile and full of mechanical contraptions, he realized it did not make a single difference to him.
Here. I was afraid to scratch it, so you do the honors.
Automatically, trying not to think too much about it, really, Adder opened his palm so that Eka could deposit a glowing potato-shaped gem into his hands. A heart of sorts, though Adder was none the wiser to this.
We're keeping the old cursed core safe, just in case something goes wrong, but... this one doesn't smell as fresh. But it was working just fine for that rotten fang, so it'll probably do just as well.
Rotten fang? Why, we'd never! It is core that we wore! Blame him!
Adder looked at the skull on the table. The king's head spoke, had most definitely spoken this time.
Her name's Aina.
Though Isafik's sockets were completely empty, Adder felt like something was suddenly looking at him after his whisper.
Well?
Yeah,
creepy.
Sorry.
Adder took a long, reluctant look inside Aina's chest cavity, looking for the right spot to place the core. It seemed like a million little machines swirled alive inside her. Taking the same educated guess about shapes and sizes that any 4-year-old may have made, Adder carefully pushed the gem into a gem-shaped gap inside her ribcage. The gem pulsated once, lighting up darkness inside her body. It turned a bright purple and then red before the compartment shut itself again. Everyone took a step back, seeing the way Aina's pupils sharpened into mere lines, but they soon expanded back to their usual roundness. A mechanical whir softened deep within her chest, turning into the beating of a heart. Aina looked at her hands. She curled and uncurled her fingers so carefully it would seem she was just doing this motion for the first time. They felt heavy, heavier than she ever remembered them being. Then she looked up at the crew around her, every last one of them, and then finally at her. She opened her mouth, marveled.
Welcome home, sis. We brought a little gift with us.
Eka gave Adder a small push. He stammered, looking at Aina.
Hey, boss?
Aina absolutely slammed him against the ground in an impromptu flying hug that he would have probably spelled the end of Adder's life in any other situation. They laughed and laughed, earning the accompaniment of the crew.
So, is she going to talk now, or...?
Okay, I get it. She's mute.
The celebrations couldn't last long, alas. Aina's eyes started closing again. She started signing something before Adder had a chance to freak out, but she didn't have time to finish. Everyone watched in awe as she fell asleep.
I'd never seen her do that.
That Pertug! Only he could spend 400 years charging a broken energy supply while hiding himself from us! Plus the hours we have wasted gathering sunlight for this soul!
Adder looked around. Nobody else seemed to hear the old voice screaming at him.
Evidently! It is your fault we're trapped now! Return the core to us! Release thy king, or we shall hound you until the end of time!
To Isafik, this was surely a threat to the highest degree. To Adder, it was just another old guy screaming at him in the sea of hurtful voices in his head. He was plenty used to ignoring both of those.
Now that we've fixed Aina, it's time to go back and fight, right?
No. The whole city is on alert now, and I'm not about to let Aina break down in the middle of battle. It'd be suicide.
But I promised! I told my friends I'd be there! I can't trust Illigrab with fixing any of this! I gotta go back and help him!
No answer. Eka scratched at the back of her ears before finally crouching down to look at her in the eye.
The mission is over, puppy. We're leaving.
No! What? Come on! You can't get now! You didn't tell Mr. Pertok, right? Hey, he's gonna be real worried. And what about my friends? You said you'd help clear a path out. You don't need to come. Just send me a few wolves. That'd be enough to...
Bones, it's over. My father and all the rest? I'm sure they'll figure something out. You don't need to be the center of everything, okay?
Where are you headed next, then?
Home.
The living ship crawled slowly through the sewers, but once it was out, it surfed like the sea. It was barely grazing the waves. How strange! Adder had never been on a ruminant boat before, but he felt like the lull of the oars battling against the water couldn't be too different to the shifting of tentacles under the conch. The wolves slept in the far side of the room, all partied out by the time the sun broke. The distant waves, the unnervingly close snores, and the sound of his own heart were the only company Adder had left.
I can't believe I left him. Just like that. I'm in again. I know they'll be all right without me, but...
Adder moved a finger over his burns. But what? He'd remember, right? Just like Eka said. He'd always have the memories of Sep, at least. That was surely more than he deserved. His mind wandered back to Zhao and Bearbith and all the congregation. Would they be all right? Would everyone make it out of the city alive? As if sensing his turmoil deep within her sleep, Anna carefully put a hand on top of his. She smiled in her sleep. The soft sway of the waves soon carried Adder into the realm of dreams, hidden under the perpetual night of the wolf's den.
Wow, you fell asleep so soon? Aren't deer supposed to be awake during the day or something?
Adder opened his eye, and soon his mouth followed, horrified at the sight of 2 yellow glows in the dark. A clawed hand forced his snout shut immediately.
I'm not here to hurt you, Bones. Be quiet, okay? We don't want a startled pack biting around in the dark.
Eka removed her hand from Adder's mouth. She took a finger to her lips and shushed him again before slithering out of the room. Adder tried his best to mimic the way the captain shuffled her padded toes, well aware that rough marble and hooves were not a combination that lent itself to stealth. Soon they reached the brig in its usual perpetual state of disaster that not even Eka seemed to know how to navigate. After much rummaging around, she finally returned to Adder, carrying 2 oars.
I hope you know how to row. It's going to take a while.
Eka tilted her head toward the dusty old canoe currently housing a snail colony.
Oh, thank the gods. I knew I could count on you, boss. We're gonna show them guards what's what.
What? No way! I'm not getting involved in your mess anymore. If you want to return and get yourself killed, that's your choice to make. I'm just making sure you can get back to where you belong.
But what am I supposed to do then? Elogram said...
You think the bear commands this ship? I'm the boss here. This is my crew. And I say that there's no place for you where we're going.
I can't come back alone!
Sure you can. Row against the rising sun. If you don't land an heirloom, you're definitely going to hit somewhere in the coast of Akathor at least.
No, that ain't what I meant. If there's nowhere else to go, I'd rather you just go ahead and put an end to this. Ain't nothing left for me back home.
This again, pup? I don't give a damn about your opinion. I'm getting you off of this ship.
No, you're not.
Adder shoved the oar back into Eka's hands. He balled his hands into a fist and lifted them in front of his face defensively.
Are we gonna have a problem, Bones?
My name is Anderson!
It's a wonder they didn't manage to wake the entire crew up that morning. The brig shook from floor to ceiling, for their screams could hardly be contained by the marble slopes making up the insides of the living snail. There was not a single wall they didn't crash against as they exchanged blows and bites. It seemed like it'd never end, but even the stamina of monsters like them had a limit. Eka and Adder lay down. Yeah. Eka and Adder lay down belly up on the ground, panting and thoroughly spent, covered in sweat and blood.
Each of them had a cigarette in their hand.
They looked at each other and then back at the ceiling, wondering what in the world just happened. Or at least Adder did. After a few moments of exhausted stillness, the boy finally managed to make some space for words.
You know, I was happy to learn y'all were here. Terrified, course. But I felt like I was right for once. I could finally just put my finger on something and say, that's it. That's the villain of my story. But that just ain't what happened. For a while after that, I was just hoping you'd drop by one night and just make all the pain stop. For good. You said you were hungry, and I understood. I kept thinking that if you ate me, then my life would have been good for something at least.
That bad, huh?
I mean, I felt like I deserved it. There had to be a bigger reason, you know. I always knew that the gods saw what happened back at the fort. They took my eye as a down payment, and then sent you to claim my dues, 'cause I didn't die that day. It should have been me, not Lord Askadat. I know that. He was so much more everything. He was strong and smart and kind, too. Always looking out for me and telling me I reminded him so much of his son. Now I can't help but wonder which one he meant.
Silence.
Wow, that's it? That's your whole dramatic life story?
You sure are, ain't it, sister?
No, it's okay. I can pretend like I'm listening. Keep talking. I'm super invested now.
Eka propped herself up on one elbow and turned to Adder. She made a grand gesture of turning both ears towards him, which made Adder chuckle despite himself.
I always wished I could be a knight like him, because I wanted to feel like I was someone who helped others too. I wanted to become someone who could protect others. But the more I tried to do that lately, the more I realized it's useless. There ain't no point defending the weak when the strong won't ever stop picking on them. It's a rigged fight, and I tried my darndest to survive enough to put my grain of sand in, but that just ain't how you win. I should know that by now. I'm tired of pretending I'm worth a damn. I'm tired of being good and nice and kind. That ain't the way to change anything. I want to be someone bad enough to rid the world of the bad guys. I want to be someone like you.
Eka exhaled all the air out of her lungs. She smiled with her lips closed.
You really don't. But I'll show you all the same. Maybe that way I won't have to hold back in a fight against you.
Adder looked up to find Eka's eyes shining right over his. Like a thought spilling directly out of her mind, he heard.
I'm looking forward to seeing the person you become, Adder.
The whole ship shook all of a sudden, sending the entire room crashing against itself and echo away from Adder.
That can't be good! Whelp!
The first mate started barking all over the place, trying to wake everyone up. Adder clambered out of the room, looking for Aina. She still slept placidly in her hammock.
Whoa! What the Bones! Bones, come look!
He rushed to heed the call coming from outside. There, where a sea of green clouds and thunder awaited over the shell.
What the hey is that?
Oh, good. You see it too. I thought I was tripping for a moment.
The sky cracked with fire and electricity. Somewhere in the distance, a small star rose over the horizon. Aina tossed and turned in her sleep, feeling an unfamiliar sense of oppressive discomfort deep where her heart should have been. She put a hand to her chest. She could feel remnants of a foreign emotion trying to spark awake, to spur her on to combat, but it wasn't happening. Nothing came over her. The sun would rise again.
A new deceive rises over the Saxerat. The oath has been broken.
Adder turned his face abruptly towards the old king's voice, and then back to the sky.
Hey! Can you smell that? It's your friend! She's back!
What? They don't look like... No, what's going on?
For just one moment, Adder knew that the star exploding in the sky was the work of two Sephi. For just one moment, Adder renounced the home he'd always yearned for. For just one moment, Adder wished he hadn't run away from her. A moment later, and he had always been Adderson of the Upper Field, the most infamous pirate in the entire world, cursed to never set foot in Akathor again if he valued his life. For he had slain his own liege in cold blood. The end.
Oh, wait, but this is not where the story ends!
Okay, so we've gotten the ending 1 and ending 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this implies the existence of an ending 2.
Yeah. I got it. I should be able to click to pass the credits fast if you like.
That's them right there! We can smell it, boy. Trust us!
That's what you said the last 3 times. You sure that ancient nose of yours still works?
We are certain! Ooh, we can just feel her power on him.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to kill this guy, Safik.
Well, ain't nothing left to lose trying.
Eat them! Burn them! Shove the papers in a chest and throw it overboard! I don't care! Just make sure they don't fall into the hands of the mad pirate!
Well. I had a feeling someone was talking about me. I don't appreciate being called mad, you know. I prefer the night pirate, or the nice pirate, or the please don't kill me, you can have whatever you want pirate.
Captain Horneater.
Hey, I'm in the middle of something here, boss. Do you mind?
Everyone cowered back as the pirate finished screaming at the empty space beyond his shoulder. The golem by his side whacked him softly in the back of the neck.
I'm sorry, boss. I wasn't screaming at you. Yeah, I know. So many people call me things, I get the names mixed up sometimes.
It was no wonder that they called him Mad Pirate, constantly talking to himself. Preoccupied with the conversation he only seemed to be having in his head, he barely registered the merchant coming at him with a sharp sword. The pirate simply swirled to the side, letting the merchant charge against the wall and knock himself back.
Please don't kill me. You can have whatever you want, Captain.
Otter? Hey, Moo. Long time no see. I've only come here for one thing. It's real simple, I promise. I'm not here to take any of y'all's stuff. Just the one thing. A teeny tiny favor from an old friend. I came to ask one question. What have you done with the Yusif?
Gasp.
Nap.
Hey.
I'm asleep.
The fullest ending takes about 40 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, I
It's
think
longer
we
than
should
that.
probably end for now.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue this tomorrow.
Oh man.
Well, dang diddly drabbit.
That's okay. More anticipation.
Adder becoming a pirate is cool, though.
Yeah.
I do. Look for him.
Gotta say, best ending.
Someone was like, that came out of nowhere. I'm like, dude, there's been nothing but jokes about Adder being a pirate since like moment one. So, well.
Yeah.
Dread Pirate Adder, yeah.
Yes.
Yar har fiddle dee dee.
You're a pirate.
Are we raiding anyone?
Looks like we're...
Slush! Haven't seen him since a few days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw Slush at the con?
Yes, we.
Yeah, we got barbecue together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we went for ice cream. It was really good barbecue, and it was really good ice cream, and it was made all the tastier by being like, Jonas isn't here to eat this.
Also, the ice cream parlor is literally closing down this week, so.
And I was like, every lick of that incredible ice cream, I was like, oh, Jonas is never going to get to taste it.
Max, you see what I got to put up with?
What was that, sorry?
Nothing. Never mind. No respect. All right. Give everybody give Slush all the best from us, and we will catch you next time for several more endings of the Hayseed.
At least one more.
I'm definitely enjoying this, and it's great to see y'all.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
Night night.
Night night.